In our discourse so far, we have spoken about 6 steps of the Noble Eightfold Path to Enlightenment. In today's discourse, we are going to talk about the right mindfulness. Many modern meditators mock about mindfulness as the penultimate step of sadhana. They say that meditation is nothing but absence of mind. And when somebody talks about mindfulness, they cannot understand it. Let us understand beautiful teaching of Buddhism carefully. Buddhism speaks about smriti, the memories, in this particular topic. From the perspective of Sanatan Dharma, please understand a lineage. This lineage started from King Yayati with his grandson named Yadu, and Krishna was great grandson of Yadu. Yayati is symbol of basic instincts. Yadu is symbol of latent memories, and Krishna is the God. In Western culture, the opposite of God is dog, and dog is nothing but symbol of basic instincts. When Yudhishthira reached heaven, the dog followed. You cannot eliminate the basic instincts. There is a beautiful teaching about mindfulness, and it's called Abhisamaya Alankara. I will be speaking about Abhisamaya Alankara specifically because it is one of the most beautiful teaching of Buddhism. So far in this discourse, we have spoken about the 6 steps, and the step before this mindfulness was the great effort, the right effort, the battle of Kurukshetra. At the onset of this battle, Krishna gave a lengthy sermon to Arjuna. The sermon is called Gita. Everything was logical in his teaching. These were the teaching from Vedanta school and Mimamsa school. Krishna also spoke about yoga. When I speak about yoga, kindly do not perceive the physical postures of yoga. That is a very small component of the entire teaching. The real meaning of yoga is to yoke yourself to God. Yoga means unison. During this sermon, Krishna gave a lengthy preaching, but when he showed him his vast form, then no more logic was needed. Mindfulness is nothing but the same. In Abhisamaya Alankara, which is the real teaching of mindfulness, there are 4 steps. The first step is your perception about your goal. It could be truth, it could be God, but these are perceptions. Then is your path towards meeting this goal, and then is the sequencing of your efforts. And in the 4th step, you let all these things manifest to their extremity in a simultaneous motion. In a moment, everything opens up so vividly and exponentially that your mind is not able to comprehend them. This is mindfulness. From perspective of Mahabharata, let me try to explain you this again. As a person, we have 2 domains around us. One is the domain of our own influence. Consider it as the inner sphere. And anything outside that sphere on which we have no control should be called out of this sphere, external to this sphere. So your entire world is divided into 2 peripheries. One is the sphere inside the sphere, and another is outside the sphere. Let us call the inside sphere as Swa, that is you. And anything falling outside the sphere is Paramatma, is your perception of God. The motto, the goal is to dilute the boundary of this sphere and amalgamate Swa with Para. And this boundary is nothing but arrogance, the ahankar. In Mahabharata, Dronacharya heard the news that Ashwathama was killed. Ashwathama was his son. Dronacharya knew that Ashwathama cannot be killed. Dronacharya went into meditation and began communicating with Krishna. He asked Krishna if Ashwathama was really dead. Krishna replied to him saying that Ashwathama was not dead and he was there on the battlefield. Krishna told Dronacharya not to move out of meditation and facilitate his killing. Dronacharya asked the reason thereof, and Krishna said that you have not been an ideal Brahman. You have not given the right education to Ashwathama. You have been partial towards him. And this partiality was not biased but from both sides. Krishna said that you could have trained Ashwathama in the same way as you trained Arjun, but you did not do that. You did not bring the right virtues in Ashwathama, and this is the reason why you should not move out of meditation. Please contemplate this story. Wisdom is talking to the mind and blaming it for the wrong upbringing of arrogance. This is the arrogance, the boundary of the sphere. It has to melt, and unless it melts, samadhi cannot happen. So the teaching of mindfulness is one of the core teaching. It is not possible for me to explain you everything because it's a long subject. I would request you to go through my discourse of Abhisamaya Alankara, and if I have spoken about Ravan at some stage, and also read the book in depth and communicate with me. Right mindfulness is the penultimate step. Enough for today. Thank you.